Hello, it's your dividend friend. Today we're going to talk about how to do a simple budget. Not everybody knows how to do it. After today, you will. But give me one moment. I'll be right back.
You know I'm a stranger, a willing.
Hello, it's your dividend friend. I want to start off by saying I'm so sorry. I just automatically assume that everybody knows how to set up a cash budget or budget expenses, that you know how to do those kind of things. But when it comes to velocity banking, those are key elements to get started. And instead of me assuming everybody knows how to do it, I'm going to show you today how to set up a budget. We talk about income, expenses, and cash flow. Really, what does that mean? So, in order for you to be successful, I'm going to give you the tools. So, and I'll give you a scenario. My parents, when I was growing up, I'm an 80s baby. They would cash their checks and they would put all their money on the table and they would take out and say, okay, this is electric, this is gas. They would even go and run into the gas company, electric company and pay their bills. Or they would get a stamp and they would mail a money order off or a check. But today things are so different now. You have apps you can use, you have automatic payment, you have withdrawals coming out of your account. So it's a little bit more complicated, but it's so important to know what your numbers look like. I always tell my kids, don't just let your money go into your account, let your pay stub go online. Take a look at that pay stub and look and see where your money is going. Unless you know your numbers, you know your money, you don't even know what you're spending. And oftentimes, I think we also take for granted. I know that on my account, they have an exact spending scenario. They'll show you what is coming in and what you're spending every single month. The bank offers that, and they also are. You go on their app, they'll show you expenses, income. They'll show you where you're bleeding at, so you can even take advantage of those kind of things. But if you're old school and you want to just know your numbers, I'm going to show you. This is a basic budgeting sheet. Income is what you're going to bring in every month after taxes. Your expenses or what's coming out, what you have to pay. Cash flow is what you have left over. That's just a fancy word now that people are using, but it just means what you have left over. Scenario here. Let's say this person here brings in, let's just say $3,000 a month. Okay. Let's say their expenses are $1,700 a month. Okay, here we are doing math again. Their cash flow left over is going to be $1,300 a month. That's pretty good, isn't it? Okay, let's say that they're probably just what? Living with roommates, so they're able to cut their expenses a little bit. But after they pay all their bills, they have $1,300. That is awesome because that's what we call positive cash flow left over. With velocity banking, that is what we work off of, your positive cash flow. But let's say someone came in here. Once again, you guys, let's just say their income is $7,000 after taxes. Their expenses are $6,500. The world we live in, they're going to have $500 left over at the end of every single month. Once again, positive cash flow. We can work with that. But my guess is that you guys, I like to specialize and say, when it comes to me, I love looking at your numbers and your budget because I want to see where you're bleeding at. If you watch my video about the $30,000 that the person saved and they paid off within 11 months, 12 months time of credit card debt, I was able to zero in and see where they were bleeding at. But I'm going to ask you to go a little further. See that 6,500? Where is it going to? Does it have your mortgage in there? If you're a renter, it's okay, your rent. Does it have your utilities in there? Does it have your entertainment in there? Does it have your savings in there? I want you to look at it and think about that. But I also want to know, does it have your credit card debt in there? Does it have maybe, let's say, your student loans in there? What does that $6,500 look like for you? You do your numbers, where's the cash flow? Let's say if I looked at this person's income and expenses, I'm noticing that when it comes to those expenses, they have like 3 credit cards. I'm going to propose to them and say, listen, if you're a homeowner, you can pay off those credit cards in one day. Once you pay off those credit cards, then with a line of credit, then I'm going to move you over. I'm going to have you utilizing the money that you were putting in those credit cards to pay off your line of credit. You can do this in record time. It's simply just knowing your numbers. But if you don't know your numbers and know where your money is going, guess what? You're losing. You're already at the bottom end of it. So instead of you saying, okay, these are my expenses, break down where your expenses are at. Categorize them: your mortgage, your utilities, your entertainment, your savings, credit cards, your student loans. And if you need my help, I'm going to encourage you to reach out. You can reach me. My information is on the ticker screen, www.dividend-friend.com. I offer consultations to help you to see something you didn't see before. I guarantee you I can save you a lot of money and interest. I can show you how to pay off your mortgages, your student loans, and your credit cards in record time. So, where what are you doing with your expenses? Where is all that going? Another key with velocity banking. With velocity banking, the reason why I love it and I've been successful with it is because there's no second job needed. You don't have to provide a second job. No more time away from your family. You're not robbing Peter to pay Paul. I see so many folks, they're managing. I have this one client, they were doing wonderful managing about 6 loans. I'm like, how are you doing it? The minute I showed them how to flip the script and how to pay off all of those loans within a 2 year period, over $100,000, with a line of credit, they were amazed. They're like, how did you? No, it's just knowing where your numbers are going. It's seeing where you're bleeding at, and it's actually assessing that bleed and saying, look, let's stop it. Let's cut all this off. Let's be done with that. Let's use a line of credit. And the good thing about line of credit is that you can pull from it and pay it back, pull from it and pay it back. It's open ended with the amortization schedule. Like when you're doing your car loans, you guys, I've had those car loans. You pay a certain amount of money every single month. There's so much going to interest and so much going to principal, but they rob you because they're front loading that whole payment for 5 or 6 years has the interest already plugged into it. So as you're making those payments, you're paying those payments, and you may say, "I paid it off in 5 years as I was supposed to. I got everything done on time." How much you give them extra interest? That's the ticker. Velocity banking, we don't have to do that. So I'm going to really encourage you to follow the videos and know where your money is going to. It's not enough to get paid and say, oh, my bills are all paid. I got my direct debits coming out. I'm above board. No, is there a way you can look in there and say, okay, then how can I stop the bleed? How can I stop having thousands of dollars that go into a credit card, two credit cards, and then I'm happy with that. Don't be content with that. You can eliminate those credit cards. And I get it. We have to live off of them. But the way I teach my clients is listen, let's pay off those high debts. You have to keep one credit card open so that you're using it. That's fine. I'm not saying close your credit cards. I'm saying pay down those debts, get rid of those debts, and begin to work your numbers. And once you recovered, you're done with that credit card debt, don't get into it again. Remember, you buy it, you pay it back. But I'm teaching you how to use velocity banking methods where you can live off of a line of credit. Your credit cards, they're great. They can go ahead and take care of those airline tickets, those hotel stays, Airbnbs, but there's a plan to immediately pay those off. So that way they're not sitting there and they're accumulating interest, thereby the bank is making all the money. So once again, I'm going to encourage you to know your numbers. We live in a society where everything is so at the touch of a dime, and it kind of dumbs us down a little bit. Sir, I'm guilty of it. Some people, I'm like, what is their number? I have to look at my phone to find it because I'm like, okay, the phone knows it. What if I lost my phone? Where's my true north? I wouldn't have it. So I'm telling you, although you may have your money going in different places, take a look, an assessment, do a paper and pen approach. Know exactly what's coming in, what's going out, and what your positive cash flow is. Let's not get so technically minded that we don't look and we don't know where our money's going, because I guarantee you that you're bleeding somewhere, but until you see it in black and white written down, you're not going to know where. Look at your bank statements, pull those out, take a look and see. If you need to consult me, let me know. Hit me up. My information is there. I'll be able to tell you, hey, don't do this, do that. This is going to work. That's not going to work. Or let's look at a line of credit or a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. And some folks, if you keep following videos, you can do a first lien position HELOC, pay off your mortgage completely, live off of your line of credit. You'd be amazed at how you can live so much better. But it's just, once again, it starts by knowing your numbers. So I'm going to encourage you to know your numbers. Also, know your credit score. When you talk about using debt tools, the world, you guys, it revolves around debt. It's just learning how to master that debt, how to make those numbers work for you. You need to get your credit score up. Hit me up. I can give you some clues on that as well. Because when you go to apply for these programs, they're going to help you eliminate your debt. They're looking at between a 675 and a 700 credit score to get the best possible interest rates. However, it can still happen. You may pay a little bit more, but it's okay. There's still a way out of debt. There's still a way out of paying those amortization schedules, and you feeling like I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, but I'm never getting ahead. Velocity banking makes it so much easier. So I'm a dividend friend. I'm here until you win, but I can't win unless you're following what I'm actually advising you to do. So I'm just telling you, Look at your numbers, know your credit score, know where your money is going to. It's not enough for it to go in the bank. You need to know where your money is going to. That way you can see how you can eliminate that debt and pay it off in record time. I'm your dividend friend. I'm here until you win. Till the next time, we'll talk to you in the next video. Bye bye.